Well, good morning, everybody. Actually, I should have told Bob the correct pronunciation of the title is A Rough and Rowdy Tale, because it's a tale about a breed of dogs. And if any of you were betting men, you would lose a bet if you ever thought that I would never in my life do a talk about a fighting dog. But this is going to be a tale about a fighting dog. Why would I do this? Well, let me go back to the beginning and start the story talking about the perro de peleo cordobés, the Cordoba fighting dog, which was back in Argentina back in like the 20s. This dog is now extinct. Why is it extinct? Because you put the male and the females together and they'd rather fight than hump. And they could not be kept as pets because they would attack their owners. They were truly vicious, evil, spawn of Satan dogs, but they were great for dog fighting. I hate dog fighting, but that's what they were bred for. But what they did have was an incredible sense of fearlessness. They were absolutely, totally fearless little dogs. Well, they weren't so little. Well, Antonio Norez Martinez, when he was 17 years old, in high school with his year younger brother, decided he wanted to breed a special breed of dogs that could hunt the big game of Argentina, which were the boar and the cougar. Quite formidable animals for a dog to bring down. So he started breeding these dogs. He started with 10 Cordoba fighting dog bitches. That's the first time you've ever heard bitches in a Toastmaster. He ended up with 30 bitches eventually. And what really interested me about this whole tale is how he went about creating this amazing breed of dog I'm going to be talking about today. He brought in 10 different breeds of dogs, and it took 25 years to create this breed, the Dogo Argentinio, which I will be talking about today. And I'm going to have Vanna White come up here today, and she is going to help me because I'm going to show you some of the breeds that went into making this breed of dog. So can you make sure this holds up, Darla?
Definitely.
First of all, he started off with the Cordoba fighting dog that I mentioned earlier because of their fearlessness. Now, I would not want to be one of those male dogs going in there and trying to breed one of those bitches that wants to fight me, but he got them to do it. And what the problem with the Cordoba dog, it was a great fighting dog, but it couldn't smell. Have you ever heard of a dog that can't smell? Well, it could not smell. And you need a really good sniffer if it's going to be hunting big game. So he bred in the pointer, who are known for their sniffing. Now, he also brought in the Great Dane because he wanted size. And Lord knows they're big. And then he brought in the Bull Terrier because they also are very fearless fighting dogs. Next he bred in the Bulldog because they have this big chest and they're really bold animals. The Irish Wolfhound was bred in because the Irish Wolfhound is a great natural hunter of animals. They were used to hunt wolves, and so they have to be really good at that. Then brought in the Dogo de Bordeaux, or French Mastiff. There are a lot of Mastiffs in this list, and they actually call the Dogo Argentinio the Argentinian Mastiff. Dogo means Mastiff in Argentinian. And he bred in the Great Pyrenees for the coat. Now, why would you want a white-coated dog? Because you don't want to mix the dog up with the animal when you're out there in the field, and you can see it. He bred in the Spanish Mastiff because they're incredibly powerful dogs. And finally, the Boxer. Now, why would the Boxer be important? Well, here's this lethal dog, truly lethal. But you get the dog at home, and it's an absolute pussycat around kids and around the family. Now, what an interesting flip-flop of traits to have bred into a dog, that they could do this. Now, let's have Vanna White turn this around, and this is what it looks like. It's a really beautiful, very powerful-looking dog. Almost 27 inches tall in the male, huge chest. And the interesting thing about them is they're so genetically perfect for what they are bred for. They've got a thick fold of skin around the neck, which is useful when they're going up against 400 to 1,000 pound boars. Now, would you like to do that? And they have tusks, that long coming out of them. They put Kevlar on them. But still, they have this wide mouth. It's not shaped like other dogs' mouths. It actually closes like this, and it really can hold on. And they also have spaces in the teeth, so when they're holding on to this animal, they can breathe. And what this little mother of a dog will do, they'll send 3 of them out after this big old pig. They'll bring that thing down, and then they'll hold that pig on the ground and will not kill it until the hunter comes there, and he takes his knife and he stabs it through its heart. Tyler, I know you're getting chills. You can sit down. Oh, and here it is up against that big pig. You can see how much bigger the pig is than the animal. So, here we go. I'll keep this.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now, why is boar hunting so important? I know PETA people are going crazy, and vegans are hating me for doing this talk. But wild boar do $52 million worth of damage to crops in America every year. They're really highly destructive animals that have no natural enemies. Now you turn some of these Dogo Argentinos out there on them. A well-trained dogo with its in threes, they usually hunt in threes, they can bring down 8 of these big boar in one day of hunting. That's an amazing animal. And one of the things that I find real interesting, we live in Seattle. Do any of you know anybody that has a hunting dog? It's not a big thing here. Well, down in the South, it's really big. We forget that dogs, for many people, are not just pets, but they are working animals. And this Dogo Argentino is not really a great pet dog. It's a dog that's meant to be used. It's a dog that's meant to be worked. They use them for police dogs, for guide dogs for the blind, and of course they're excellent for the boar control. Now, to have a dogo, you could not be a real pussycat of a man like Dave Livingston back here.
Come on. You want to go to general quarters now?
No, you have to be a real, I'm teasing you, Dave. You have to be somebody that can really show this dog who's boss. Because Tanya could do that because she's got a Chihuahua, and they're always alpha dogs unless you put them in their place. But you have to show this dog who's boss. And when you have them around the house, well, first of all, you can't train them using abuse training because they are bred to be so fearless against these big old boars. You can hurt them all you want. They won't feel it. They're immune to pain. You have to reward them with treats. And you have to keep after these dogs. Show them constantly who's boss. But when you do that, they're incredible working dogs. They're great around the house. They're real lickers friendly, but they're sort of like cats more than most dogs in the sense that, how many of you known dogs that were real needy? These dogs are not real needy. They'll be affectionate, but then they can go off and do their thing. Now, let me take a look at my notes here and see if I've forgotten anything. There have been many Dogo Argentinos who have saved their owners from robberies. And actually, there have been a number of cases where they have been shot multiple times and still fearlessly fought to protect their owner. It's a truly remarkable dog, and the thing that I want you to get out of all this thing, whether or not you're impressed with the dog or not, is, we as humans, with the exception of people who are like barren or who can't have children and pick surrogates or eggs and stuff like that, we largely don't do any genetic breeding for the human race. But in animals, it's just amazing what you can do if you really selectively use breeding, and how they have perfected a dog that has so many conflicting yet perfect traits for what it's bred to do. I think it's a very inspiring tale of the human ingenuity at being able to do this, and I think it's a fascinating dog to know about. So I've enjoyed sharing with you about the Dogo Argentino. Ruff!